How you can buy your time back is what we're going to talk about today for high producing real estate agents, or really anybody in the business field or the real estate industry. This is going to be a little bit of a story of how I've been able to leverage my highest and best use of time over and over in my career. I've got a couple stories for you, and I have a tactical takeaway. So my name is Christian Stubbs. If you don't know who I am a team leader and owner here of Onyx Homes, a real estate sales team in Southern California, and we are one of the fastest growing teams in the area. And this is start to finish in real estate, where I give as much information as I can back to the agent marketplace, because I strongly feel, especially with the environment that we're in, that agents need as much information as they can to have a successful career. So let's dive right into the topic of this video. All right, now let's start this video by me asking you a question. And that question is, what are the activities that make you the most money? Now, if you're anything like me, there are probably 2 or 3 different things that you do that drive 90% of the income to your business. I'm gonna share with you in this video how I've been able to keep my focus on my income producing activities while growing our company, Onyx Homes. Now, first of all, knowing what the 2 or 3 things that are the most important to your business are is key to the business. Now, we all know we're salespeople here, so a lot of these things are gonna be sales calls, they're gonna be face-to-face, consultations, whatever you know is your most important thing. So like I said, if you're anything like me, you already know what these things are. Every time that I feel like I get pulled away from those most important income producing activities, I can feel the income or the revenue slowing down. I don't know if you relate with me here, but I have had this happen to me several different times in my career where I have had to refocus my time on the most important things. Now, I'm gonna share with you what I've done almost every time I've run into this and how I've solved this problem. Most of the time, I was getting pulled from my sales activities, which for me are $500 an hour activities. And I was getting pulled from these sales activities into admin activities, right? Paperwork, scheduling, just things that was not my highest and best use of time, was probably not what I'm best at anyway, but it certainly was not $500 an hour work. I was getting pulled into activities that were really like $5 to $20 an hour activities, where I should be focusing over here where we make the most money. Now, enter in our first virtual assistants. Now, we hired our first virtual assistants years ago, and they've both been with us for a very long time. I'm talking 3+ years, and I hope they never leave because they're absolutely amazing. Huge shout out to Darren and Donita. They've been with us for over 3 years, and I do not know what we would do without them. Now, here's how it started. We had more work in marketing and admin than there was really time for. Now, yes, at this time, I had a marketing manager, Carly. She is still with our company. She's also amazing. She's our in-person, in-house marketing manager. But there was way more work to do than what she could handle and I could handle. So I was getting pulled from my sales activities into doing admin and marketing roles that just were not my highest and best use of time. Now, we had a decision to make. Did we need to hire another marketing person? Did we need to hire another assistant? Now, what ended up happening was through a conference, I believe this was a Tom Ferry conference that I went to, is we learned about what a virtual assistant was, and we talked to other leaders that were using virtual assistants in their business. And they have shared with us all of the different things they had their virtual assistants doing. Now, we were very hesitant at first because we just didn't really know or understand that this was even a real thing. But the reality is, when we looked at the things that we needed done in the business, 95% of all the things that we needed didn't require somebody to be in person in the office. So we went ahead and we interviewed a ton of people to find Darren and Donita, our first virtual assistants that we hired. Now, it is really important to mention that you are able to hire virtual assistants for as little as $3 an hour. Now, obviously, the more you pay, likely the more skill you're getting, but that is a huge difference between, we're in California, so if we want to hire really anybody, it's going to be a minimum of $15 an hour plus payroll tax and all of those different things. So it is an enormous savings if you're able to solve these problems with somebody that is overseas with a virtual assistant. And frankly, the work ethic and the amount of work that these virtual assistants have been able to do for us is far above and beyond what we would probably get if we were to hire somebody at a minimum wage role that really didn't want to be there in the first place. So like I said, we hired Darren and Donita, a marketing VA and a admin VA who is now a executive assistant. And to be honest, in the beginning, we really didn't know if we had enough work for them. We thought we might, just because there was so much on our plate and I was getting pulled so much out of sales into doing all these different things. But what happened was, after about 2 weeks of training, I was able to take all the time that I was spending in the admin and marketing stuff, and I was able to pour all of that back into sales. So we added 2 VAs for roughly $3 an hour each, and they were both working a 40-hour work week. Now, I know a lot of us don't like math, so I'll put this up on the screen for us, but $3 an hour at 40 hours a week is $120 a week. Now, this is probably, some of us might spend that on Starbucks a week or eating out at lunch. This is something that, yes, we had 2 of them, so for us it was $240, $250 a week. And like I said, after 2 weeks of training our new VAs, I was able to go back out and spend all of my time back on sales. And guess what happened? I was able to double my income because I was getting pulled probably for 20 hours a week out of sales, and I was able to put 20 hours a week back into sales, which doubled the income of the company. Now, not only that, there was now 80 hours of work getting done that was never getting done before. This added so much added value to our organization, and it allowed us to grow so much faster while I was still able to focus on selling. Now, I can just hear the objections because I've talked to a ton of people about this topic, is that nobody can do it better than me. I don't want to train anybody. And yeah, you might be right. Nobody can do it better than you, and I can promise you don't want to train anybody. But the reality is they can do it about 90% as well as you can. And you're gonna have to get over that last 10%. But that last 10% is gonna get you back in sales and doubling your income. And maybe it doesn't double, but I can promise you that you're gonna be able to get your time back and leverage your highest and best use of time doing things you like doing, as opposed to getting pulled out and doing things you're probably not best at and that you don't like doing. This is something we have done over and over and over in our business. And for example, just yesterday, from when I'm filming this, we were doing our EOS, our quarterly meeting, and we were doing our planning, and we found that we might have a bottleneck in marketing again soon. Just like the first time we hired a marketing virtual assistant, we might be running into a situation soon where we might need more help in marketing. And can you guess what my first question was? Is what we need, does it require somebody in person? And the answer was no. So it was an easy answer for us to be, yep, if we need to hire another virtual assistant marketing, we can totally do that. We actually just did this with our video editor. So let me quickly break down what I can do, because when you hire virtual assistants, you bring them into your business, you're gonna get 1, way more work done. Number 2 is you are going to have a way lower cost structure than if you were have to hire W-2 in-person employees. So we added a ton more work getting done to our business with a relatively low additional cost. Now, for reference and context, here are the 4 virtual assistants we currently have in our business. We have our executive assistant, that's Darren. We have our marketing assistant, that is Donita. We just hired a video editor. We also have a transaction coordinator's assistant as well too. Now, again, I can hear another objection is if you're thinking that the quality of work might not quite be there, you're totally wrong. Now, let me give you some context as well too. This article that you're reading, this video that you're watching, the script was written by me. So if you're watching the video, obviously, I wrote the script for this. This is also an email that we send out to our start to finish real estate newsletter. So I write the email, which is my video script. Yes, I do write all of the emails. I write all of the text content for our business. The video is edited by our virtual assistant. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate it. And the entire email, the upload to every social platform, the email blast that goes out, I think I said that twice, and uploaded to our blog, that is all done by Donita, our marketing virtual assistant. And I can promise you, if you go look at all the content that we've put out, in comparison to 99% of other agents out there, our quality is as good, if not better, than most other agents out there. So don't think that I'm not gonna hire them because the quality's not there. The quality is absolutely there. You just need to find the right people. And to be honest, from my perspective, after I turn on my lights, I finish filming, I take the card out of the camera and I upload it, and magic happens, and then it's uploaded. So as far as me, my income producing activities, part of it is making content, both for consumers and for agents. Now, I don't have to go edit the video, I don't have to post everything, I don't have to do all that stuff because I'm leveraging my time with virtual assistants. Honestly, I mentioned this earlier, but I do not know what I would do without this team of virtual assistants helping us put everything together. And I know Carly, our marketing manager, feels the same way. I know Mondo, our transaction manager, feels the same way. And we just hired an office assistant because there was some in-person stuff that was required to be in person. And I know she feels the same way as well too. All right, now here is a pro tip. finding the right people in any hire is always the most important thing. You want to make sure that you're hiring somebody that knows what they're doing. Just because this is a relatively inexpensive hire in comparison to hiring in person, I don't think you should go with the cheapest option. I personally made that mistake closer to the beginning, and I regret that. I would have definitely paid more for experience, especially because you're still gonna have a much lower cost structure than somebody that's in person. You also have so many options. If you're hiring in person, you only have your local area from a hiring grounds, versus when you go virtual, you literally are hiring from the entire world. Now, our virtual assistants are from the Philippines, and one of the #1 questions I get is, where in the world do you find them? So we have gone through the company Sphere Rocket. In the description down below, there's gonna be a link where you can go ahead and book a discovery call. And this is where they go through and they interview, they vet them, they make sure they know what they're doing. They have a ton of training for them, and they will put 4, 5, 6 people for you to interview, and you get to pick who you like the most. And here's the one thing that I really like here is that they don't play as the middleman, they play more as the headhunter. So they are gonna find you the best possible person, and then that virtual assistant is really your independent contractor and works for you. They're not playing in the middleman, so they're just there to find you the right people. Now, if you do decide to go through Sphere Rocket to hire your virtual assistant and you use the link down below, it will help support me and the channel so that we can put out more content for you as well too. So if you found this valuable, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you use that link when you sign up with your virtual assistant. Also, I have a huge course we're putting together that is going to be in our start to finish in real estate community. So if you're not in that already, I would highly recommend joining. It is totally free. Do not sell anything in there. That community is really only there to give as much value to the marketplace as possible. And frankly, it's probably the easiest place to reach me and have a real conversation. So I'm gonna have an entire course built out on all the SOPs, all the things that we do with our virtual assistants, all the tasks they do, how they do it, the software, all of it. I'm gonna have that put together. So if you're not already in that community, I'd highly recommend joining it so you can have that when it's ready. And as a final note, focusing on your income producing activities will solve 99% of your problems. All right, thank you for watching. My name is Christian Stubbs, and I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next video.